Hello students, welcome to Shubhra Ranjan IAS. My name is Shubhanshu Jaiswal and let's start our daily current affairs practice. Now, in question 1 today we have consider the following statements with reference to Nipah virus. Fine. So if you have read today's newspaper, this news was in the front page. Fine. So let's see the statements. Number 1, it is a zoonotic illness that is transmitted to people from only animals. Now see, firstly, what is this zoonotic? So zoonotic diseases are those diseases which are transferred from animals to humans. Okay. Now, this statement is correct. However, the word only here is creating the problem, because this disease, this particular Nipah virus can, be transmitted to humans not just by animals, but by the contaminated food or fruits, and in fact from people to people, that is one human to another human as well. Fine. So this statement becomes incorrect. Second is saying bats serve as a natural host for the virus. Yes, this is correct. The fruit bat, particularly it is a kind of a bat which is a mega bat, bigger in size, and it feeds on the fruit. Now this is a natural host for this virus, so statement is correct. Third is saying there is no definite treatment available for this. Yes, this is also correct. So far there is no definite treatment for this infection caused by Nipah virus. So here only 2 and 3 are correct. First statement is incorrect. Fine. Let's go ahead. You can see this is happening in the state of Kerala. One term related to this is encephalitis. Now, what is happening here? There is inflammation in the brain, the swelling in the brain, and it is caused by Nipah virus only. Fine. Not just Nipah virus, but Nipah virus can cause this. Fine. So as we discussed, the news is there is a breakout in Kerala. Fine. It can be caused by fruit bats, contaminated food. For example, any fruit item, let's say fallen off the tree and lying on the ground, if any animal, particularly bats or pigs, if they come and they urinate on it, or they they lick it, and if we consume such contaminated food or fruit, it can cause this particular disease to us as well. Fine. Bats are the natural host, particularly these bats. They are fruit bat, they are bigger in size. Fine. What are the symptoms that are in this? They cause asymptomatic infection, the infection which is not clearly even visible, acute respiratory infection, or fatal encephalitis, which we discussed, the swelling of brain. Fatal for humans and animals, and that is why it is a cause of worry. No definite treatment so far. Precautions: avoid eating fallen fruits from the tree, avoid feeding pigs, and keep fruits bats away. Fine. So these are the things you need to keep in mind. Second important question is, consider the following statement. Statement 1, inflation refers to the sustained increase. Okay. Sustained increase in the general price level of the goods and services in economy over a period of time. Quite conceptual question. Now see, what is inflation? Inflation का मतलब क्या है? आम भाषा में महंगाई. होता क्या है उसमें? हम क्या कहते हैं? हम कब कहते हैं कि महंगाई हो गई है? जब हमारे मार्केट में मिलने वाली सारी चीजें, यानी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज इन द इकोनॉमी, अगर इनका प्राइस जो है, इनका जो रेट है वो बढ़ जाता है, तभी तो हम कहते हैं कि महंगाई हो गई है. राइट? सो don't you think that this statement is correct? Yes, it is correct. Okay. Important term here is sustained. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आज एकदम से प्राइस बढ़ा, कल घट गया और उसको आप इन्फ्लेशन कह दो. No. Fine. That is a variation in price level. Here they are saying एक लंबे टाइम तक, एक पर्टिकुलर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम तक धीमे धीमे वो इंक्रीज होना चाहिए प्राइस पे, तभी हम उसको इन्फ्लेशन कहते हैं. फाइन. सो दिस फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज एक्चुअली डिफाइनिंग व्हाट इन्फ्लेशन इज, एंड इट इज डिफाइनिंग करेक्टली. Now second statement, in India inflation rate is measured using the wholesale price index, WPI. Now there are two tools to measure inflation, WPI and CPI. Opposite to WPI is your CPI, consumer price index. Now what are they measuring? They are measuring the inflation on wholesale price or the measuring the inflation of consumer price. So these are two index. Fine. Index is what is the purpose of index? For example, human development index. So it measures something. Okay, it is a measurement. So similarly, this wholesale price index is measuring the inflation in the wholesale price of the goods and services. Similarly, CPI is measuring the inflation in the consumer price, the retail price of goods and services. In case of WPI, services are not included. Fine. Anyways, let us look at the statement now. In India, inflation rate is measured using WPI. Now this is incorrect because this was happening till 2014. After 2014, what happened? We shifted to CPI. Okay, fine. Next, high inflation in India can lead to increase in its international competitiveness. Now this is creating a problem. Why? Because if there is high inflation in India, what will happen? Will our cost of production, will it increase or decrease? It will definitely increase. And if cost of production increases, then will you be able to send or export these products easily? Perhaps no. So your export will decline. So your competitiveness is again declining. So this statement is incorrect. It is rather giving you the opposite meaning. Fine. So here third statement is incorrect. First is correct. Second is again incorrect. So only one would be the right answer. Fine. I hope this is small concept. It is not small actually. But it cannot be covered entirely here. Fine. So news. So what has happened recently in today's newspaper? It was that the retail inflation has seen a decline recently. Okay, from a very long period of time it was constantly increasing, but now there is a relief. It is in declining. Now because of decrease in the prices of food items. This data has been released by National Statistical Office, NSO. Fine. Rest of the things we have discussed. Now on the basis of this, you can see one of the PYQs which came in the year 2020 in your prelims. See the statements. The weightage of food in CPI is higher than that in WPI. Now this statement is correct. Fine. Weightage as in, you can imagine, see in CPI, if I am including the prices of all the commodities, then a lot of things will come here. Let's say food, fuel, okay, security, etc. A lot of factors. So here food is having the maximum weightage. Fine. So this statement is correct. WPI does not capture changes in price of services, which CPI does. This is correct. And this is the precise reason why we shifted to CPI, because earlier we were using WPI and it was not including the changes in the price of services. Fine. Now RBI has now adopted WPI as its key measure of inflation as to decide on the changing the key policy rates. As discussed, that RBI has now adopted CPI. Fine. So this statement is incorrect, and this is correct. So this would be the right answer. Fine. So if your concepts are strong, you can easily deal with the questions in prelims examination. Now, with reference to the global stock take, consider the following statement. It is a component of the Paris Agreement. Now, if you know about this global stock take, yes, this is correct. It involves countries coming together every 5 years, beginning in 2023, to evaluate the advancements made in addressing climate change. So yes, Paris Agreement's primary work is to address climate change, correct? And this particular global stocktake is looking after this. Okay, they are giving updates in every 5 years. So the both statement are here correct, both the statements. So 3 would be the right option. Fine. So why it has been discussed here? Because recently UN Climate has released a report, and they have highlighted the difficulty in meeting the targets of declining the global temperature. Fine. Now global Stock take is a component of Paris Agreement, as we discussed. Meeting every 5 year, convene me meeting. Fine. Beginning in 2023. Why? What is the purpose? To evaluate their efforts in combating climate change. What has been done? Is it meeting the goal or not? That is what they are precisely doing. Fine. And based on these reports, there is going to be development in COP, Conference of Parties 28, and in which further developments will take place. So you can see this particular part is the deciding factor. Okay, now let's go ahead. Now consider the following statements: wildlife sanctuary or tiger reserves and the states. Now first is Daring Memorial Wildlife Sanctuary, and they have mentioned Nagaland. So this is incorrect because this particular wildlife sanctuary is in Arunachal Pradesh. 5. Fine. Now Annamalai Tiger Reserve, this is in Tamil Nadu. So yes, this pair is correctly matched. Pakhui Wildlife Sanctuary, this is not in Manipur, again Arunachal. So here this is also incorrect. So only one pair is the right. Now let's look at the brief information about these tiger reserves or wildlife sanctuaries. Now first is your Daring Memorial Wildlife Sanctuary. As discussed, it is in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and where it is located, you can see in just this part. Okay, just in this part in between the Arunachal and Assam, you have this Daring Wildlife Sanctuary, and you can see very close to it which river is flowing, Brahmaputra. Fine. Nearby regions, and you can see here is Namdafa Wildlife Sanctuary, but it is comparatively far. Fine. There are other wildlife sanctuaries also which we have not mentioned here in the picture. Fine. Now in this picture only you can see Pakhui or Wildlife Sanctuary. We mentioned it in the question, right? So that is also in Arunachal Pradesh, here in this side. Now what has been the news? So they recently 2 species were rescued and they were released in this wildlife sanctuary, a fishing cat and a python. So location is this, as we discussed, in Arunachal Pradesh. This particular part, you can see its orientation, it is like this. Okay, now it is a protected area in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and it is covered with grass and riverine forest, etc. Fine. Bamboo is there. Now Annamalai Tiger Reserve, very important. Fine. Why it is important? Because it is in the hotspot region. It has number of advantages and important significance. Now first at first you can see this is what Western Ghats, and here you have Eastern Ghats. So it is located in somewhere the confluence of Western and Eastern Ghats. So you can imagine how rich biodiversity this particular tiger reserve must be having. Fine. So I have just zoomed in. This picture shows the depiction. Here you can see in this Annamalai Tiger Reserve there are various kind of forests. Fine. The rainforest fragments, then you have other forest types as well. So because the monsoon, it shows the very special pattern in the Western Ghat area. That is why, because on the basis of rainforest, on the basis of rain, your vegetation is determined. So you can see there is diversity in the vegetation in this region because of the special rainfall that Western Ghats receive. Fine. Now let us look what else is special here. Now there has been a study which has highlighted the need to preserve and conservation. Fine. No need to go into the detail. However, what is important about Annamalai Tiger Reserve? Earlier it was known as Indira Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary. Less likely to be asked, so you just need to keep it in mind. Nothing important. Again, this is also a protected area, such a significant area, so it will be protected. Now this is important part. This can be important for your prelims. Habitat types it is supporting is wet evergreen forest, semi evergreen forest, moist deciduous, dry deciduous, dry thorn, and shola forest. Now what are shola forests? These are, you know, special type of forest. What happens generally when you go in montane forest, okay, montane forest, the forests which are on mountains, so the size of leaf decreases, fine. As you go up, the size of leaf decreases. However, in this particular shola forest, the size of leaf is big, okay, it is not decreasing, fine. So that is the specialty of this shola forest. Then this particular tiger reserve is also called anthropological reserve because it is supporting many anthropogenic, many indigenous tribes in the region. Malasar, Malay, Malasars, Kadars, Pulayars, and Muduvars. These are the indigenous tribe of this region. There is one dam nearby, Parambikulam Aliyar project dam, fine. Vegetation part is important, fine. And one more thing, the Anamalai, fine, Malai means the range, and there is the highest peak of South India, Anaimudi, is located in this, not in this tiger reserve, but in this hills only, Anamalai hills, fine. Now let's go ahead. Pakke or Pakhui Wildlife Sanctuary, as discussed in that slide, it is also in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Precisely, this is the location here, fine. So that is all about this. It falls in the Eastern Himalaya biodiversity hotspot. That is the significance of this wildlife sanctuary. Rest of the things we'll take up tomorrow. I hope today's video was quite comprehensive. It covered various dimensions, but it will be helpful for you in the prelims preparation. So keep reading the newspaper, keep studying, do well. In case you have any doubt, you can just ask us out in the comment section. Have a good day. Happy learning.